Kamala Harris has energized Louisiana Democrats, but Donald Trump will still win the state. Washington. Democratic State Senator Regina Barrow was in her North Baton Rouge church on July 21 when her phone erupted with the news that President Joe Biden was ending his re-election bid. She audibly gasped. "People turned and looked at me," Barrow recalled. "They were asking what is going to happen now, and I said, I don't know." What happened next was Biden endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris, which at first didn't allay fears because so few knew much about her. But state party organizations, including Louisiana's, and Democratic leaders rallied to Harris's candidacy. She stepped up to the plate and spoke with such a level of confidence that people believed she could do this job and do it well, Barrow said. The level of energy she created supersedes that electricity we saw with President Barack Obama. This is a historic moment. Harris perked up the party faithful, particularly voters who are young, who are minorities, and who are women. In the past 4 weeks, Harris started pulling ahead of Republican candidate, former President Donald Trump, in many polls. For Louisiana Democrats, the Harris candidacy boosted a base that was supportive of Biden, but not very passionate. "I want to emphasize the excitement I see from the barbershop to the grocery store. I'm very energized by the level of excitement," said U.S. Rep. Troy Carter, D. New Orleans. Biden rambled and seemed lost during the June 27 debate with Trump, a performance that brought to a head the simmering unease about Biden's age. Trump is only 4 years younger than the 81-year-old president, but the age issue hadn't dogged him. Then the July 13 attempted assassination and the photo of a defiant Trump pumping his fist with blood dripping from his ear galvanized Republican voters. The former president came out of the Republican convention on July 18 as the odds-on favorite to win in November. "Friends not in politics were asking me, is Trump going to win?" recalled State Rep. Mandy Landry, D. New Orleans. Harris, 59, came out of the gate strong. "She's young. She's pretty. She's charming. She's articulate. She's smart," Landry said, adding she changed the dynamic of a race that had been between two elderly white men, both with high negatives. Harris had been discounted, often harshly, in the Republican partisan bubble since she became vice president. But few people knew much about her. She has worked at every level of government: city prosecutor, state attorney general, U.S. senator, and now vice president. When they learned about her, Landry said, Louisiana Democrats became confident that Harris was not only a good candidate, but a transformational one who could win. As with all recent presidential races, most states will vote either Democratic or Republican, leaving both candidates within striking distance of the 270 electoral votes needed to win. The race will be ultimately decided in about 7 states that could go either way. Biden had dropped slightly behind Trump in those swing states. Harris now is leading in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and maybe Nevada, according to an average of poll results compiled by the New York Times. Trump leads in Georgia, Arizona, and maybe North Carolina. Leading may be overstated. The leads of both Harris and Trump are well within the margins of error, meaning the race is still up in the air. Veteran political strategist Roy Fletcher of Baton Rouge said the polls are reflecting the enthusiasm Harris has brought to the Democratic Party. "They're feeling that now they have a chance to win, and they hadn't felt that before," Fletcher said. Baton Rouge political pollster John Couvillon agreed that the Harris surge is fueled by enthusiastic Democratic voters returning to the fold, but the numbers aren't strong enough to begin a victory lap. Biden trailed Trump by about the same narrow margin as Harris now leads, Couvillon said, adding, "There are not that many movable, persuadable voters nationwide. Turnout in early voting, beginning in September in some states, will give a much better indication of which candidate's supporters are excited enough to actually cast ballots," Couvillon said. None of Louisiana's Democratic officials delude themselves into thinking that the zeal surrounding Harris will be enough to beat Trump in this state. He won 58% of Louisiana's vote in the 2020 and 2016 presidential elections. Yes, we're energized. Yes, we're excited. I think she's going to win. But this is still a red state, said Randall Gaines, chair of the Louisiana Democratic Party.